I think my neighbor is a cannibal. It started like any other morning. Emily kissed me goodbye before heading off on her usual jog. When she didn't come back an hour later, I told myself she must have run into a friend or decided to extend her route. But as twilight fell and she still hadn't returned, dread took hold. In the days that followed, I combed every street and trail in town, hoping to find any sign of her. My pleas to the local police led nowhere. There were no clear leads, no immediate evidence. During that desperate time, my neighbor, Mr. Hartwell, offered an unexpected lifeline. A retired 5-star chef, he'd built a lavish mansion near the outskirts, complete with tall iron gates and gardens you might see in an old Gothic novel. I'd scarcely exchanged more than a few words with him before, but once Emily vanished, he began inviting me over for dinner. "You need proper meals," he'd say gently, his refined gray eyes full of concern. "Grief can devour you if you don't take care of yourself." Despite my reservations, I relented. Cooking anything felt impossible. My mind was too caught up in thoughts of Emily, where she might be, whether she was hurt or worse. Hartwell's dinners, however, provided a brief refuge. He would serve dishes so flavorful, it felt like they carved through my numbness. One night, he presented barbecued meat that practically disintegrated on my tongue, paired with a tangy sauce that made my taste buds surge back to life for the first time in weeks. When I asked what it was, Hartwell merely smiled. "An old family recipe," he replied, deflecting further questions with graceful charm. "I'm glad you enjoy it." Over time, though, subtle details gnawed at me. I once spotted scratch marks on the doorframe leading into his mansion. Long, thin grooves like someone had dragged their fingernails against the wood. Another evening, as I passed by the side of his house, I caught a pungent odor that made my stomach clench. Something metallic and raw. When I asked him about it, he laughed quietly and said, "My cooking experiments can get a bit intense. I apologize if the smell drifted your way." Then, late one night, a message appeared on my phone from an unknown number. "Don't trust Hartwell.